We're at Athol Road Primary School today, where they have the most amazing urban farm. Not only are they growing a crazy amount of edible produce, there's also bees, there's animals, I've seen chickens, I've seen ducks, I've seen llamas, and I can't wait to show you the whole thing and introduce you to Bryan, who's hiding behind me, who has done all of this by himself, obviously with support of all the children and the school community. Bryan.
Yes.
How are you going?
Oh, you know, busy.
It's school holidays.
Yeah, oh, is it? I don't know.
You're here every day though.
Pretty much, yes. Yeah, if it's not the garden, it's the animals. So they all need to be cared for throughout the 2-week break. Luckily, I live close by.
So this is really your life, this garden?
It is, yeah. Once I had the opportunity to start it in 2012, it's just been a passion of mine for the last 12 years to be able to bring this to the school and offer it to all our students.
I run full garden tours here in Melbourne every couple of weeks. If you like that sort of stuff, subscribe now.
Bryan, where did the idea for this garden come from?
Well, 12 years ago, my previous principal wanted to start an environmental education program at the school that runs alongside PE, music, art, those sort of things. So I took it on and she said, I'll give you a blank cheque, but I want it to be something that's never been done before in a primary school. So the garden was probably the first thing we wanted to get up and running. So she put the money where her mouth is, and that's why we have what we have today.
What is it that makes you so passionate about this?
I guess I just grew up as a kid surrounded by this environment, like growing our own food, having chickens and ducks and all the animals to sort of socialise with. So I wanted to be able to bring that into the school environment where a lot of these kids don't have that exposure anymore. You know, it's an iPad in front of their face these days. So to be able to have this hands-on experience, I wanted to bring that to the school, and I think I'm doing an all right job with it. So.
I think it's all right. What sort of beds have you got here?
Well, originally 12 years ago we started off with just the corrugated metal ring raised beds and traditional beds, but over the years we've now changed to these water-saving biofilter FoodCubes, which are wicking beds. And they've probably cut our water bill by about 80%.
So we've got a whole lot of veggies here. What's growing at the moment?
So we're still just finishing off our winter crops. We've still got some cauliflowers that are ready to harvest coming out. So they're the last of our brassicas. Broccoli and cabbage have already come out. We have carrots all year round. So this is the next bed we'll start harvesting from. We're just finishing off in this bed. We've got another bed over there. A lot of our animals on site eat carrots, so we thought, well, makes sense to grow them, even though they are cheap enough to buy.
Are any ready to pull out?
Probably this bed would be a better one to pull from, but I reckon we might get
Oh, beautiful.
a nice chunky carrot there.
Gorgeous.
So the kids do enjoy coming in and pulling carrots out, ones that are ready and which ones aren't. So, but to be able to taste a fresh carrot pulled out of the ground after you've washed it, they're actually quite intrigued that they taste different. But yeah, we just had snow peas we've just pulled out, so we've got the last of our silver beet in here. This will probably become our summer crop beds. We'll recycle all this material, compost it all down, recharge the beds ready for whether it's zucchinis, tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever it may be.
These look like some volunteer tomatoes.
Yeah, we've even got a few self-seeders in there from last.
I can see flower buds on that
I know, yeah, so wacky weather we have.
Goodness me.
Yeah. Biofilter originally had the food wall design over here, which are wicking beds as well. We utilise a lot of them through the garden. A lot of the smaller stuff we grow in there, from herbs to strawberries, do really well in there. We do have some silver beet and rainbow chard growing in those ones.
End of winter and you've already got little strawberries.
Yeah, they're alpine strawberries, those ones, so they're pretty much fruit all year round, even through winter. I guess that's where the alpine name comes from. The kids, it's great for them to come in and pick a red strawberry and get in amongst the garden. We've got broad beans that are almost ready for harvest on some of our plants now, but we do a crimson flower and a white flower variety in here. And pretty much any broad bean you see growing in this garden was planted by a 4-year-old. So
Tell me about that.
well, we have on-site kinder at our school as well. So I see the 4-year-old kinder groups. We have 2 of those every Monday, and they are probably my primary seed planters. So broad beans is quite an easy one to do, and they get to see the joy of their little seed growing into something so big. So
moral of the story, if someone thinks they can't grow from seed, if kindergartners can do it,
That's
anyone
it.
can do it.
4-year-old can do it, anyone can do it. Other things, we've just started new plantings, lettuce, beans, beetroot. We have asparagus in this bed. You can see the new spears popping up. So
Show me.
got purple variety here.
Right here.
And then we've got the green varieties over here.
Asparagus look so funny when they're growing, don't they?
Yeah, see this one's probably a bit past its due now. It's going to go to flower soon. So
You've got tomato volunteers.
yeah,
everywhere.
and I want to feed this bed. I want to layer it up for the asparagus, but with all these tomatoes, I'll either have to remove them or bury them, one of the two.
I can see cages over your...
Yeah. So this is just our little way to stop the birds getting there and digging up our seedlings. So they're probably ready to come off now. Just when they're very small seedlings, the birds get in amongst the compost we add into the beds, and they end up digging up all the seedlings as well. We're chemical free here, so we have to admit defeat sometimes when it comes to slugs and snails.
I think that's going to make everyone feel better.
Yeah. There's things you can do. We've trialled many things as a school group as well. Coffee grounds around each seedling works really well. Copper tape around the beds can do it as well. You can have sacrificial plants amongst it as well, so hopefully that they go for those ones instead of the others. So trial and error of a few different things.
You've got lots of beautiful flowers in your garden. Are they pollination attractors? Is that what's going on
Yeah,
here?
pretty much. We have 2 beehives on site at the school as well, so we want to make sure there's plenty of pollen and nectar available for them. They help us out by pollinating the things we need pollinated, and we provide what they need in return. So
I want to see your beehive.
they're pretty docile at this time of the year. So we've had a few queens in the past that have produced some genetics that have been quite angry. So
really?
we've got some nice docile queens at the moment. So we can get a bit closer than usual. We call this our veggie highway. We've got 16 of the food cubes all joined into one big row, so you can literally put the hose in one end and it waters the whole thing. So we've got celery coming up at the moment. This one's just been recharged.
So we get a quick zoom in of the celery.
This one's recharged, ready to go, but we've got some potatoes in the next 2 cubes.
Just stuck some potatoes in the ground.
Yeah, so they're coming along nicely. We've also done another variety of potato that's just started popping out of the ground now. So they were planted about 2 weeks after the other batches.
What?
Yeah.
After these ones?
Yeah, we planted them and then got this bed ready and put some others in.
So that's only 2 weeks more growth.
Oh, these have been in for about a week and a half, 2 weeks now. We planted them just before the end of school term, so 2-week holiday, we can see them popping up.
And they've been
they were done probably 3 to 4 weeks ago. The bed's over the back here. The overflow usually sits about this high, but we've actually raised it up to turn them into swamps. We're actually growing rice in here. We've got our rice seedlings in the greenhouse.
I did not know you could grow rice in Melbourne.
Well, I didn't know that 2 years ago until I actually sourced some rice from Queensland for a very exorbitant price, and we gave it a go, and a few things worked out well, some didn't. So this is our second try at growing rice.
So this is probably one of the only things that your soil needs to be really drenched.
Yeah. Water chestnut is another one that'll be swampy. So the water chestnuts are coming up now. All these green spikes.
Cool.
And after I've done these 2, the next one I'll be trying is wasabi. So
They're growing wasabi at the Melbourne Sky Farm.
yes. Done an amazing job there. So
I've done a tour of that if anyone wants to see it. A little bit of cross promotion here. I'll put a link in the description. Do not watch it until you've finished seeing everything that's growing here. So that is not as interesting as that, because I've read about these. You're growing bananas.
yes, they're looking a bit wind damaged at the moment, but we've successfully grown quite a few bunches off these. Basically, once we get a bunch off one of these stems, we cut down the stem. We've probably got a few too many banana trees in there, but we'll just let them go and see how they produce. We keep the food up to them. Banana trees need lots of water, so food cubes are perfect for them. You just keep the water in the reservoir and they're happy all through summer.
So could I grow bananas in my backyard?
Yep. Sure can.
Doesn't need
Get
to
a
be
winter
tropical.
variety. These are only very small little finger bananas, but banana is a banana. So
Do they taste good?
yeah, they're very sweet. We've got onions in the last 2 beds, so they're still not bulbing up very much yet, so they'll take a little while yet. So.
And your greenhouse is where you've got all your seedlings growing.
Yeah, so I had all the students plant out the seeds at the end of last term. So everything's labelled, everything's coming up. Some things are almost ready to come out to be hardened up.
Like your tomatoes, and we've just filmed a video all about growing tomatoes. So if you want to become an expert, check out the link in the description after you've finished watching this. So I can see tomatoes,
Okra, yeah, red
more
and green.
Tomatoes. What's down here?
We've got jute, we've got lettuce, we've got mustard, more tomatoes. We've got cucumbers and zucchinis, big leaves up the back. The chilli still hasn't popped out up the back. But then on the top shelf there,
longer, don't they?
you can see our rice seedlings. So this is our white rice growing in this tray, and our black rice, which hasn't been as successful, but still pushed out a few plants. So they'll be going.
Seedling trays.
Yeah.
They're great. Where are they
Little
from?
cell trays. You can buy them at Bunnings, I believe. Yeah. Students here also do things like taking cuttings and everything else. So we've got mulberry cuttings that are coming on. We'll pot them out eventually. Strawberries ready to go.
Beautiful. And once you're growing strawberries you never really need to buy them again, do you?
That's right, yeah, because they push off the runners every season, so you can take a runner and make it into a new plant. Very easy.
Make a run for it. Right, what's through here?
So this is our campfire area, but we have a lot of fruit trees, a lot of our citrus through here. We've got lemons, oranges, mandarins, we've got limes, both varieties. And then we've got all our pear trees that run this circle here.
Oh, this is so cool.
So the kids also learn how to take cuttings, graft, espalier, they do it all. We had some successful grafts last year. We've got one Nashi pear tree here, and grafting Nashi pear onto all these other varieties. They're putting on their blossoms now.
So the flowers turn into the fruit. I've never grown these before.
Yeah, so we'll get a good crop, but the problem is because they're so big, they're really hard to net, so the birds usually win in this sense. Back when we started, back in 2012, this was actually our chicken and duck area. So we had chickens and ducks in this area. We didn't have the fruit trees. This was fenced all the way around. But when I show you our farm, everything moved up to the farm. So now we're turning into fruit orchard. We've got apricots, we've got cherries. You can even see the cherries forming up the back there already, green cherries.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever seen cherries growing before. So you can grow so many different types of fruit in Melbourne.
Yes, apricots go ballistic as well. But we gave them a hard prune, so there's probably not too many apricots forming. There's a couple, but we know we lose a lot of the crop by giving it a hard prune, so we have to try and keep it manageable. We've got a polytunnel in here as well, so we're able to grow different things throughout winter. We've got some capsicums that are still in there. They've all been pruned back. Hopefully they'll kick off again going into the warmer months. But we'll probably put a lot of our tomatoes and capsicums in here as well over summer, and with extra heat, they really get quite large in here.
They don't get too hot on like a
They can. We do have a shade cover that goes over the top for summer as well. Another thing we've got is our aquaponics.
Am I allowed to say hello to our wonderful volunteer?
Oh, Judith is our pocket rocket volunteer. So Judith volunteers her time usually once a week and comes in and does some amazing work. So it's school holidays and she's still here.
I can see strawberries.
Yeah, so more of our food walls, they're coming on now. They're flowering up. There's even fruit on a lot of varieties. We've got two different varieties in here. We've got our Melbas in this section, and then we've got the Adinas up that section. And they were actually donated to the school from the owner of Garden World, James Wall.
Thanks, James.
He wanted to see how the two different varieties grew. He wanted feedback, which ones fruited first and which ones produced more and blah, blah, blah. So I was willing to do that for some free strawberry plants.
They look similar though.
Very similar, but they do fruit at different times and they have a different taste in the strawberries, or according to the kids anyway. So
what's this?
That's a fig tree.
Oh.
Just a self-seeded fig tree.
Really?
Yep. We've got plenty of them around the garden. It seems that the birds like to sit on the fence and drop the fig seeds from their droppings. We've got sugarcane growing next to you here as well. Kids love that, harvesting the sugar cane and then chopping it up for them to chew on.
If you're going to have a sweet treat, it's probably the best way to do it, isn't it?
That's it, natural sugar. We've got dwarf peaches in amongst there as well. We've got a persimmon tree behind you. We've got peaches over there. We've got nearly everything, I think. So
What did you say this is?
Aquaponics. So
Aquaponics.
fish pond. Unfortunately, we don't have fish at the moment. I think the frost got them. So, but the idea is the fish obviously do their poo in the water. All those nutrients that are in their poo gets pumped up to these gravel beds here, and the plants will remove those nutrients from the water to help them grow, and then the water cycles back and the clean water goes back into the pond. So they help each other. We're actually going to do some of our rice planting in here as well, and wasabi in here.
You've got a few good ideas, don't you?
Well, as I said, every year I want to try and introduce something new, keep it fresh and real. And so this side of the garden's trying to become more of an indigenous garden. Lots of berries up the back and currants as well. We've got our kiwi vines up here that are just about to pop into flower.
Goodness me.
One thing we learnt about kiwi flowers is they need to be pollinated 40 times.
What?
In order to produce the fruit.
40 times?
40 times. Luckily we've got bees on site which make that happen. So we get a pretty good crop of kiwis each year. We've got our male and female kiwi vine. You need to have a male and a female. And then you have to wait between 4 and 7 years before you'll actually get any fruit. This space is out of bounds at recess and lunch, so we don't have kids just roaming around unsupervised during that time. But when we do have classes, we're learning about the right and wrong and the best way to do things. So,
what are we walking past here?
these are apples, all been espaliered by students. So the students learn how to espalier the branches onto the wire. They prune them all back and get them all ready for the next season.
Which my kids could go here. We do love our school.
Yes,
This is very cool.
But it'd be great if all schools sort of had something similar in a way. And these are our beehives over the back. So entrances on the other side as they come in and out of there. These bees are a bit more docile than previous bees.
Now I've got the baby on me, so I'm handing the phone to Brian, who's gonna get to some... Oh, she's snoring. You can probably hear that. Brian, for context, can you get a shot of me?
Sure.
Because I want to show people if they can. She's snoring right into the microphone.
Oh,
so I'm just sorry if you've been wondering what that noise is. I'm going to move the microphone. Now you can get back to the bees.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
When you're collecting the honey, do you have to get all kitted up?
Yeah, we've got the suit and everything else, but we actually use a beekeeper now to come in and do all that and service the hives and harvest everything for us. We harvested in February and April this year. So we got a good harvest, I think about 40 to 50 kilos.
And did I read somewhere that you sold them all and they sold out within a few minutes?
Yeah, so we jar it all up and our parent community, they literally fight over it. All that money goes right back into this program. So it is almost self-sustaining for what we have on site, whether it's the produce, whether it's the honey, whether it's the chicken and duck eggs, everything goes back to the parent community.
And I recognise these as being edible too.
Borage, yeah. Are you excited about compost or don't want to see our compost?
I used to not be excited about compost and now love it.
Well, round the back is our compost. We've got almond trees here as well.
What are these before?
Nectarine.
Nectarine, are they?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we've got almonds over the back here.
Goodness me. I don't even know what an almond tree looks like.
Now you do.
I do. Almonds. When are they ready?
They'll be ready over summertime, yeah. Once they start splitting out of their furry cover to expose the shell inside. And this is behind the scenes out the back. It's not the prettiest place to come, but this is where we make the magic. So this morning we had a whole array of branches and stuff. You can see we've got a commercial grade mulcher in the shed there. So we line that up here. Everything gets shot into the first bed. And then after 2 weeks, it gets moved into the next bed. So these beds are constantly rotating. So the stuff in this bed's probably 6 weeks, and it should be pretty much ready to go into the garden.
Beautiful.
So that's what you're left with after 6 weeks of mulching down a branch. Full of worms.
Black gold.
Yeah. And that goes along with all our manures. We've got alpacas, chickens and ducks. All the manures come out of the paddocks there, along with the dirty hay and everything else. All right.
Show me the chickens and the ducks and the alpacas.
All right. I think I can unlock this gate. Come on. There we go. I think it was about 2019. My principal again, we're at an award ceremony for another school that won this award, which was Cornish College in Bangholm.
Is this one friendly?
It can be. And they were showcasing that they had alpacas at their school and all that. So my principal actually turned to me and, using the F word, said, I want alpacas at our school. We have rabbits and guinea pigs in the paddock divider as well. We've got 2 male alpacas here, they're young males. They're also good at keeping the foxes away. 2 young ducks in that shed there that we incubated out, and we'll do a load of chickens this term as well. So
they're hatching chickens too?
Yeah, why not?
Goodness me.
Yeah, there we go. There's one. Ducks like to hide their eggs, so yeah, there's another 2.
Beautiful.
We'll sell them off, $6 a dozen once we get back to school on Monday.
Who needs a supermarket? Eh?
Well, that's what it's all about. It's showing that you can do it for yourself if you know how to do it.
So we're in one of the classrooms now.
So this is my environmental ed classroom where all the students come once a week for 45 minutes.
Who have we got here?
This is George. He's our blue and yellow macaw.
Hi, George.
This is Redmond. We've got long-necked turtles. We've got guppies.
Who needs a trip to the zoo?
This is Chipper.
Lucy's woken up just for the good bit, Bubs. Brian thinks that you might like to hold a snake, and I said absolutely not.
Oh, that's no fun.
Absolutely not.
Snake is in here. Sleeps, buddies up with the bearded dragon. Very friendly, but people have that phobia about snakes, so totally understandable.
All right, if it's not poisonous, it's
No.
not gonna, is it? What about biting?
No.
How do you know?
Well, he's fed on Friday, so it's all good.
Okay, I did it.
You did it.
I clearly trust you, Brian.
Oh, look, I wouldn't put anything in harm's way for anyone, so.
What's in there?
Green tree frogs.
Way. Oh, that is so cute. The kids are going to be so jealous.
I'm happy to do it, come in on my holidays and keep it running, because I think it's valuable for the next generation to understand where their food comes from. I just love it, I still do. After 12 years, I want to continue, I want to keep building on it and trying something new all the time.
Brian's also given us a crash course on everything you need to know about growing tomatoes. That's the next video you absolutely cannot miss.